Hi, I'm Maddie Coughlin.
And I'm Matt Conley, and we did our research video on colorblindness.
So, Matt, what is colorblindness?
Colorblindness is also known as color vision deficiency, or CVD. It is the inability to see colors in the normal way. The main colors that are issues are greens, reds, and blues. On the image shown below, on the left is your normal color vision, and on the right is your deutan color blindness. Hey Maddie, what does it mean to be colorblind?
So, in your eyes, you have specific cells called rod cells and cone cells. Rod cells detect low levels of light and are responsible for night vision, and cone cells detect colors and are responsible for day vision. Color blindness is the result of color cone cells that don't work incorrectly, are absent from the cell entirely. To put it simply, color blindness is the result of defects in genes that provide the instructions for making photopigments in the cone cells. So, tell me a little bit more about cone cells.
There are three types of cone cells that perceive color. Red cone cells have the longest wavelength and they make up 62%. Green cone cells have a medium wavelength and they make up 31%. Blue cone cells have the shortest wavelength and they make up the remaining 7%. Now, can you tell me about the different types of deficiencies?
The first deficiency would be the red-green deficiency. This affects your protan and deutan. For protan, it would be your L cone or your red cone cells being defective in a way that they're altered or missing entirely, and for deutan, it would be your M cone or your green cone cells being defective, and they also would be altered or missing entirely. The picture on the right shows the wavelength that a non-colorblind person would see, a protanope, and a deutanope would see. The other type of deficiency would be your blue-yellow deficiency, which is called tritan, and it is your S cones that are defective, also known as your blue cone cells, and these would be missing entirely. The image below compares the wavelengths a non-colorblind person can see to what someone with defective blue cone cells would see. So, how do you know if you're colorblind, and what are some of the symptoms?
There are variations in degree of deficiency from person to person. Some people can't distinguish red and green on a traffic light. They only know by the location. For others, colors are less bright. In some cases, different shades of colors may look the same. And CVD is usually apparent at a young age.
So, how do you get diagnosed?
Well, specific color tests can be administered. Testing with pseudo-isochromatic plates is common. For this, there is the AOHRR, or the Hardy-Rand-Riddler test, and the Ishihara test. Another type of testing is the D15 test. So what is the Ishihara color test?
This test uses pseudo-isochromatic plates. Plates 1 through 17 all contain a number, and plates 18 to 24 contain one or two wiggly lines. To pass this test, you must identify the correct number or correctly trace the wiggly lines. Here are some examples of the pseudo-isochromatic plates. Someone who has normal vision would be able to see the numbers 74, 8, and 2. And on the other two plates, they would see the squiggly lines and be able to trace them with their finger. This is the score sheet for the Ishihara test. On the right side of the test, it shows you what normal vision would see, protan would see, and what deutan would see. So what's the difference with the pseudo-isochromatic plates for the AOHRR test?
You must identify and trace the shapes, like in the example shown on the left, and on the right is the score sheet that you are given.
So what about the D15 test?
The D15 test is a color arrangement test where you are given a series of colored discs and are tasked with arranging the colors by their hue or shade.
But Matt, aren't there two types of color blindness?
The most common type is the inherited color blindness, which is a genetic defect passed down through family. The other type is the acquired color blindness, which develops later in life through damage to the optic nerve or retina.
As you can see in the image below, on the left it shows your normal vision, the middle it shows red-green deficiency, and on the right it shows blue-yellow deficiency.
So Maddie, what is inherited CVD?
To start, CVD is a sex-linked trait, which means that it is controlled by a gene or allele located on the sex chromosomes. However, CVD is a recessive trait. The so-called faulty gene for colorblindness is only found on the X chromosome. Red-green colorblindness is more common in men because it is carried on sex chromosomes, while blue colorblindness is not carried on a sex chromosome, so it affects both genders equally. Matt, can you tell me why males are more susceptible?
For males, the faulty gene has to appear on his one X chromosome. For a female, the faulty gene must be present on both X chromosomes. This being said, the father must be colorblind and mother must be a carrier or colorblind. If a female only has the gene on one X chromosome, then she will be a carrier but not have the symptoms. 8% of the male population and 0.5% of the female population have some form of colorblindness.
The following pedigrees show a CVD father and a CVD mother, and if their children will be normal, abnormal, or be carriers of the colorblindness gene. Here's a simpler example. You start with a normal male and a carrier female. After 3 generations, there are 3 colorblind males and only 4 carrier females. Notice that there are no females that are actually affected. All this being said, what is acquired CVD?
CVD can be acquired from illnesses such as leukemia, Alzheimer's, liver disease, glaucoma, Parkinson's, and diabetes. Additionally, medications can cause changes in color vision as a side effect, and aging can also cause deficiencies. So, Maddie, are there any cures for CVD?
Treating for illnesses that caused acquired CVD is common, however, there's no current cure. Special lenses help aid in color reception. You can get tinted glasses or contact lenses that assist in distinguishing colors.
That's right, Maddie. And chroma glasses have a light filtering technique and focus on red and green color blindness. These glasses remove confusion and overlapping. So to briefly go over what we just talked about, color blindness or CVD is the inability to see greens, blues, and reds in the normal way. It is the result of defects in genes that provide the instructions for making photopigments in the cone cells. There are variations in degree of deficiency from person to person.
We also discussed the specially designed tests to determine what type of CVD a person has and their level of deficiency. Some of the tests we covered was the Ishihara color test, the AOHRR test, and the D15 test. We also mentioned how there are 2 types of CVD, acquired and inherited CVD. To conclude, there currently is no cure for CVD. However, special technology in glasses is now available to help assist with color vision.
This video is brought to you by C Squirt Studios. I'm Matt.
And I'm Maddie.
And thanks for watching our video.